The Evil Within is all about evil monsters and what type of bullets you decide to put in their deformed faces, but nope, not this go around. This time it's just my haymakers, the empty beer bottles in my back pocket, and of course, the rare hug. Wow, I just realized that I'm basically role-playing as my dad this run. Oh yeah, and my legs are broken. I forgot about that. Anyways, you read the title, but just to clarify, all guns including the crossbow are off limits, sprinting or the shift key are also not allowed, and finally, I will be playing on Nightmare. I would usually start the challenge here, but blood, sweat, and a lot of tears have gone into this video, so if you enjoy it, then please consider subscribing. Now let the torturing commence. No, Sebastian! That's a book! I don't know what to say here. What, did I accidentally disable you in the settings somehow? Anyways, because this is The Evil Within, we got to experience some actual hallucinations. Dismemberment art, actually having a loving family, shadow demons, you know, all stuff that isn't real. I was gonna skip all the way until I met my first enemy, but I ran into something. Yeah, that! So with the whole no running thing, I started to freak out a little bit, but then I realized that my walking speed is just enough to get by, so I just strolled to the exit while this thing tried to give me a haircut. So yeah, this ended up being no problem. What was a problem was what came next. Yeah, I died in one hit. I paused my 10-hour loop of Eiffel 65's Blue because I had to let it all sink in, what I'm spending my limited time on Earth with. This kind of pain for silly internet numbers. But then I quickly found a workaround, so don't worry, it was only a mini existential crisis. Luckily, this house is big enough for you to walk to one side, hide, and this enemy will eventually lose track of you. This is way easier said than done though, because these guys tend to be jumpier than me after my 5th Flintstone vitamin.
Need to get in there and squeeze that guy.
Oh, okay, wow, I really regret opening this menu. Sebastian, what were you saying? So I got into the open, and we really have to watch out here because we're getting attacked by basically everything. Americans, finicky stealth controls, cats, books, I meant books. God, Sebastian messed me up. We then got to some upgrading, did some exploring, and then I pounded some ass in the church. Trust me, I'm not the first person to have ever said that. But no, in all seriousness, look at that. I got 2 guys with 1 axe strike, and the other guy just left. Wow, starting off great. I didn't bother picking up the crossbow, cause duh, I don't feel like dying right now. Check back on me later though. But anyways, actually getting back onto the story, Sebastian used his special 6th sense, which is specifically designed to track little girl feet. Don't ask, and of course our daughter wasn't there. I then got jumped by a couple of dog things and almost crapped my pants, but luckily I closed this door before they could get in. I should be safe, I mean dogs can't open doors. I tried sneak attacking a dog, learned the hard way that you just can't, played hide and seek with my ghost daughter and learned that she was hiding in this warehouse. Sebastian, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but your daughter is definitely dead. Look at how many zombies are guarding this place. Okay game, I know I joked about breaking my legs before, but I didn't mean it literally. So after a lot of sneaking, we found out that our daughter, Lily, is still alive somehow. I know that I'm not. At least on the inside. But anyways, we then found out that this creepy camera guy kidnapped our daughter, and to top it all off, he summoned 3 dogs. Now, this is what fighting 1 dog looks like. So 3 of them. No. Please. Yeah, this was quite the conundrum, but after a lot of running around and dying, I got a rough idea. I have to pull this cart so that I can hop onto it and escape. Yeah, that just wouldn't work, so after more dying and testing, I got a new plan. I had an axe on me, so I would take out 1 first, and then the other 2 dogs would just ignore me. Yeah, they just walked away. The AI in this game could use a couple more chromosomes. I know that's ironic coming from me, shush. So yeah, with now 2 brain-dead dogs, it was pretty easy to escape. We then found out that Lily got to there somehow. Yeah, you heard me right, the floating platform in the sky, so that's our next pit stop. To get there, we had to go through this door. Yeah, this is an unexpected roadblock. Remember what I said earlier? I didn't bother picking up the crossbow, cause duh, I don't feel like dying right now. Check back on me later though. Well, now the crossbow is needed to progress, and yeah, I do feel like dying now. Sebastian tried encouraging me by doing a flip. It didn't help. I still want to flip off of a building, but on the bright side, this section perfectly exemplifies the dogshit smoothie that is this video. These two challenges work perfectly together, kinda like peanut butter jelly, broken glass lemonade, or my pregnant mom and wine. See, I can't use the same old strategy of punch, run away, repeat, because I can't run. This makes large sections like this horrible. Luckily, after grabbing the crossbow, I was able to escape with just the skin of my teeth, and I almost messed up this entire video by accidentally walking into a shooting range. Needless to say, I had my 7th panic attack for the day, but luckily, the shooting range is optional. And yeah, you saw this coming. I had to use this crossbow once for this door. You can count this as a gun use if you want. The only gun use I really care about now is the one that'll come later tonight after this game breaks me. Sorry, this looks like a bad time. I'll be back later. Have fun, you two. Yeah, I got to this lab area and you might have noticed that there's nowhere to hide here. So if I get into a fight, I'm screwed. And of course, 5 minutes after I wrote that into the script, this happened. Yeah, I'm screwed. We have to wait off this timer, but it takes so long. Too long for me to just run around. But while I was testing to see if zombies could be pushed off ladders, I made a great discovery. I accidentally became a god. Yeah, fully invincible. Sure, the zombies would stare at my ass, but I don't really mind as long as they don't take a bite. This section was way easier than I expected. Yeah, I could solve this puzzle, but I have some questions that need to be answered. First off, what the fuck? Sebastian opening up his third eye aside, we got to our first boss fight, and I have to be honest, I've been able to sneak past basically every single fight so far, except for this one. This thing can lose track of you but will never let you sneak attack, making sneaking pointless. So I tried learning its patterns, but this saw has such a large reach and is so overpowered. No matter what I did, it was futile. Starting to feel a little desperate, I backtracked, did a little bit of sneaking, met a ghost who really disliked couches for some reason, and built over 12,000 green gel. I fully upgraded my melee and even did a little work on my health. You're staring at an hour of grinding. Looking at my progress, I started to get a little cocky, and while walking back, I upgraded my syringes. Great. I then proudly stumbled into this fight and quickly learned that my upgrades didn't get me ahead in this fight at all. In fact, I lost my head just as often as before. I'm sorry for the pun, but you get the idea. This fight was gonna almost fully rely on my skills. So in other words, I'm screwed. I spent over 3 hours testing everything a sane person would think of. Okay, well also everything an insane person would think of. I fully learned every pattern, tried glitching out the boss. I even turned into a car, but none of it worked. I don't really know why I did the car thing, but I did. Anyways, I had absolutely no luck. That is until I found the ultimate cheese. See, this thing won't attack you while you're in this box. Instead, it'll hop on top and try sawing it. So take one step out of the box, attack, and then walk back into the box. Repeat until dead, and you should be good. I know what you might be thinking, but this boss could two-shot me, so I don't feel too bad for breaking the ever-living hell out of it. Now, while this plan was foolproof, it took around 15 minutes of constant stabbing to actually complete. You know, I shouldn't have been so harsh on the AI earlier. I mean, half their brain is rotting. What did I expect? Plus, they're American.
It's him.
Ah, yes, my mortal enemy. Bushes. Yeah, no, is there another entrance I can take? Preferably one not covered in blood. And yeah, before you can say, God, please stop, I'm not having fun anymore, we got to another boss fight. Luckily, even while walking, this boss has some pretty simple patterns. So after a quick little game of Ring Around the Rosies and a seizure, I was all done.
Can't believe these bastards used Lily like some kind of science experiment. And then they have the nerve to send me in to clean up their mess. It's like some kind of sick joke.
And you know what's the funniest part? You actually went in! I mean, what kind of sadist would subject themselves through hell for personal gain? I wanna die!
At this point, nothing would surprise me.
Sebastian, come on, you've gotta be kidding! I thought you'd learn your lesson by now. Bam! Cum monster! Did that surprise you? You know, this section would be a great PSA for kids on what happens if you don't clean out your cum sock often enough. It's surprisingly easy to make sentient life. I've had to kill so many times. But jokes aside, this was just a little section that you can walk past. No, nothing is ever that simple. See, no matter what, this happens. Yeah, I lost this challenge to the cum monster. I faced hordes of zombies, literal hell, and I lost to this. I tried sneaking, didn't work, running, didn't work, and even emptying my gun. Can someone explain to me how Sebastian is shooting with 0 fucking bullets? But no matter what, this is inevitable. So yeah, throw one up to the gun counter. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It's... Wait, who are you?
You're a shrink.
Shrink? Get it? Okay, I'm sorry. So, we met up with the team's Shrink, and she told us that the key to escaping this place was actually the friends we made along the way. Okay, yeah, I didn't listen. Anyways, we then got to a new open area, and the game spawned one of these things like it was just another Tuesday. What? This thing is just roaming around in the open. Does this count as an assist to my suicide? I then spent around 30 minutes trying to save this guy before giving up. No. Tactically retreating. Yeah, he's dead. So, we had to destroy 2 paintings, and luckily, both of them involved sneaking, so it was super easy. Oh, fuck. I've seen enough of my dad's special anime collection to know where this is going. Sebastian? Run! Well, yeah, it's a knife. Of course it hurts. So, we got into a fight with Stefano, and just like people named Stefano, this fight should have never existed. Okay, well, the first stage isn't too bad, mostly because Stefano showed his sadistic side and let me beat him infinitely. It felt good to dish out the pain for once. Really good. Surprisingly okay, yeah, I found a new fetish. Anyways, that all changes once he starts his Sans impression. Almost all of his attacks do a crap ton of damage, but there's one AIDS attack that rules them all. This sprint attack can, I don't know, get run over by a bus. Speaking of buses, this attack hits like one, and on top of that, it's almost impossible to avoid. I'm being serious. This completely destroyed so many good runs, as well as my will to live. I had a run go for 20 minutes straight, avoiding blades, and while 20 minutes doesn't sound like much, I often died in one hit. So after using all of my syringes, I legitimately thought he couldn't die to melee. But then, it came, and so did I. What? I told you about my fetish. So after calming down from the fight, we somehow got teleported to a dungeon. Finally, a familiar environment. My home, literally away from home.
Torture devices. This place is almost medieval.
I would agree, this place is almost medieval. It does have a little modern flair though. I mean, what is 2020 without torture? So anyways, this dungeon was just a lot more sneaking until I got to this. Yeah, this room was pain. I tried meleeing, but it's impossible with how many guys there are here, and sneaking is far out of the picture. But before giving in, I did some research and found this video, which I'll link below. It showed me that bottles could be used to insta-kill enemies. Great, the only problem is that I already ran out of bottles. Not great. Yep, I had to reset 30 minutes of work. But hey, on the bright side, okay, this is a first. I can't think of a bright side. This guy then told us that he knows Lily's location because, of course, the priest knows where our underage girl is.
You know how to use a gun, right?
Oh, I am so screwed. And I was, in fact, so screwed. So we're trapped in this cabin and have to defend against this massive horde. I could literally make a movie about this cabin with the over 2 hours of gameplay I have, but I'll keep it brief. The AI partner is so horribly stupid. I would make a joke about her chromosomes, but I don't think she has a brain to begin with. I can deal with stupid AI. No, what's torture is that healing her takes forever. That means healing her mid-fight is impossible. The first couple of rounds were fine, but the dog shit smoothie hits the fan right here. It is impossible for me to kill this knife enemy. I have to rely on help, but unfortunately, our buddy will always die before she can finish the job, leaving me boned. But after, you guessed it, 2 hours of trying, this happened. Yeah, the knife enemy got stuck, and I was able to res my teammate. Without this glitch, this fight would have been impossible. I can't stress enough how stupidly lucky I got here. And even luckier, right afterwards, we finished it all off.
Hey! Give me a hand over here, would ya?
Wow, rude. you're not the only one getting violently mauled to death. Give me a second.
I got this one.
Oh, no you don't. I am so dead.
Looks like you've done this before.
Too many times to count.
Sebastian, we can't just brush this off. How many times has your neck been violently ripped open? We then took a little hike with our partner, her name is Torres, and got to some sneaking. While I'd like to say that this was horrible because Torres is brain dead, I mean, look at this stupendous hiding spot, this mostly sucked because I suck at sneaking. I then snooped through Torres's diary, remembered that I can't read, and finally started to upgrade my sneaking. Yeah. Halfway through the game, and I start to upgrade sneaking now. Needless to say, I'm a special kind of special. Anyways, I then walked into this room, immediately said, fuck that, that's just a boss fight waiting to happen. So yeah, I was right, it's boss fight time, and surprisingly, this boss and I have a lot in common. But my love of arson aside, we're both extremely slow, making this fight extremely easy. Yeah, there isn't too much to say here.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Yes, thank you Sebastian for repeatedly shanking me in the same 2 spots over and over, you sick motherfucker. So I gave Liam my goodbyes. We found out that the priest had our daughter and I got upset, cause I've already made a priest joke. So anyways, Torres died to unfortunate circumstances, and I made a little friend. I call him Harry. Hi Harry, what's up? So yeah, we got back into the open world and it was hell. Literally, there are a bunch of bosses from earlier sprinkled around everywhere, which makes walking impossible. But hey, at least the ladder glitch still works. Okay, never mind. Panic! So after walking past hordes of zombies, we got to this section, and yeah, it's the cabin all over again. I was able to make it past the first checkpoint due to my bottle throwing getting pretty accurate. What can I say? Father like son. But unfortunately, from here on out, it's literally impossible. This section can be beaten while running, because then I'd be able to avoid attacks, but I can't do that. So yeah, the difficulty, just like my expectations on life, will have to be lowered drastically. Or so that's what I thought. Even on survival, I was getting my ass handed to me by the first 2 enemies. I have to go through more than 10. So yeah, I'm keeping the difficulty up, but count this section as one massive gun usage. And even with guns, I struggled here, but eventually I got through. Our partner got what she deserved for not helping me, and I grabbed this guy's pipe. Surprisingly, he didn't mind, or at least his corpse didn't. I then did some more sneaking, and surprisingly, we met a friend that you might remember from last game. Switches! God, I wanna die. So yeah, just like last time, these switches can only be moved by gunshot. Thankfully though, it's only 2 this time, so it's not too bad. 2? Did you see what I did there? Okay, I'll stop. We then got to even more sneaking, and it may be obvious by the guy who's staring at a wall, but it was pretty easy. I then witnessed Jesus 2 Electric Boogaloo and got into yet another boss fight. Well, more specifically, a bunch of boss fights. So first up is our good friend Safehead, and I knew this fight was coming. It wasn't a matter of when or why, but rather how much it was gonna hurt me emotionally. But to be honest, this wasn't all too bad. Safehead is pretty slow, so I could walk away pretty easily. Sure, it took a while, but I gradually whittled down his health. Then, the game noticed that I was actually having fun for once, said no, and spawned in 2 more. Yep, I was fighting 2 of them at once. There are glitches and overpowered combos galore, but I can deal with those. What made me want to shove my head into an oven was that there's no autosave here. Every single time, you need to kill the first guy again. It's so stupid. But after completely memorizing every pattern, and after a lot of luck, I finally got the hang of it. Speaking of hang, this next section makes me wanna hang myself. Yep, we're fighting Lara, and I'll keep this quick. Yes, you can beat Lara with only melee, but taking away sprinting makes it just impossible. Lara's attacks are all insta-kills, have super long ranges, and oh yeah, she teleports. Without running, I can't avoid her attacks. So yeah, add 1 to the gun counter. Anyways, Myra, who I think I'm just mentioning now, stole my kill, and it became very obvious that she was gonna be the last boss fight. I know that white stuff from anywhere. Honestly, what games let you say, today, I fought literal sperm? And no, Mario does not count. These sections were just annoying sneaking until I got to this. This boss was surprisingly hard for the sole reason that its health bar is so huge that I started to feel a little incompetent. But after a lot of hitting over and over and over, it thankfully ended. The game then got surprisingly somber. I said goodbye to the little cat from the beginning, and then this happened. I know it may be obvious, but I don't think I can melee that thing. So yeah, the rest of the game is just shooting, and fortunately, we're never forced to run. Sorry for the lackluster end. This boss ended up being one of the easiest. But yeah, after finally finishing it, I beat the evil within with only 6 gun usages and without sprinting. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, then you can like and subscribe. Anyways, I'll hopefully see you next week.